Hello there, my name is Bruce Rain from Brankus Creations and welcome to today's live stream. Thank you everyone who has decided to tune in and watch today, where I'm going to be working on an Amiga 1200, but we'll get onto that in a minute. First thing I need to do is of course say hello to everyone who is in the chat right now. If you are in the chat right now and you haven't said hello yet, please do so. Hello to Gibbertronics, hello to Francois. Oh no, I must sleep. Sorry Francois, you're just going to have to stay up. Hello to Purball101. Purball? Hello to Colin from This Does Not Compute. Hello to Enzo Fitzhume, Quicksilver Oz, and Scarlet Swordfish. Welcome. So, I just realised before I started doing this live stream that I had not charged up my little cordless battery microphone thingy, this thing here. From my last live stream, I just left it sitting on my desk because that's just the clever thing to do. So it had about half an hour's charging before I started today. And so if you suddenly just end up with no audio, let me know. I do have a backup, one of these, but it has a slightly spicy battery. No, it's not meant to look like that. The battery's actually quite new, but it just swelled up almost immediately. It does hold a charge quite well, but it's just very puffy. So it's there as a backup, but I just, just imagine this thing just blowing up on my, on my belt. Let's hope it doesn't. Mic is a little crackly. Okay, let's just see if we can rectify that. Just bear with me a minute. Okay, I'm back online. Is that any better? These microphones that I buy, they're not particularly expensive, and the reason why they're not expensive is because even when I buy expensive ones, they sort of die at about the same rate as the cheap ones. So, sounds okay so far. Okay, good. What else have we got here? We've got MacDiv11, perfect stream for a wild Saturday Arvo in the shed. Good to see you. Oh, it's Macca. Hello. Is in the Macca that I know? Is in that Macca? Yes, it's an awful day, isn't it? I can actually just press on this. I'll go here and do that one there, and you can see up on the top left-hand corner there, Sydney, 12:35 p.m. 23 degrees, light rain, and it is only light rain. It's not actually raining that much at all. It was raining a lot this morning, but it is it's very, very windy. So yeah, quite unpleasant. Nice to be inside. Okay. Retro Techie, hello. Jack68K, hello. JDubTube, hello. Who else? Roger Salter, hello there. Hello also to Miley, hello. And Mark Anning, Joel Av Coco, there we go. What's in the Amiga? We will have to just wait and find out. Oh, it is that Macca, yes. So hello, Macca. Hope you're doing well, mate. Running late 35F. 35F, is that you giving me a temperature? Because I don't know what that is. Minus 15C here. That's cold. That is very cold. Yeah, I mean, look, seriously, the weather it's not cold. I'm in a t-shirt, I went for a picnic this morning, so it's not like I was actually just at Lane Cove National Park having a picnic, so I mentioned that because Macca knows where that is. Yeah, so I just, it's been pretty much just like a normal day, really, but it is just, I can hear a little bit of sprinkling now, and it is very windy and it's apparently going to get worse. There's weather warnings and all sorts of stuff. Okay, now I'm just going to tell a little bit of a story about this Amiga. So someone reached out to me just recently and said, I've watched your live stream video of recapping an Amiga 1200, which I did 5 years ago, something like that. And he said, I watched the whole thing start to finish. And for that, I commend him. Watching a live stream after the fact without sitting there on the button on ×5 or whatever is pretty hard. But it was, he did watch it because he was someone who, bought this Amiga back in the 90s, was a big fan of the Amiga, and then, of course, when the internet came and everything just changed over into a PC lifestyle. And he wanted to get back into it, as a lot of people do. You get that nostalgic hit, and you think, yes, I really want to fire this thing up again. And he's sort of watched my recapping video, and he wasn't confident about doing it himself, so he reached out and he said, hey, do you still do recapping? And ultimately, the answer to that is pretty much no. I do selectively take on some projects, you know, for live streams or, you know, for a pre-recorded video for YouTube, that sort of stuff. I do sometimes, you know, do recapping to help people out, all that sort of stuff. But ultimately, I don't really do it. But he just sort of said, I'm in X suburb, and that X suburb is one suburb away from me. And I'm sort of like, oh, you're right around the corner. You may as well drop it in. So that's what ended up happening. You should come to VCF Montreal. You can see the computers, enjoy our winter. Yes, it's very, very tempting. I'm not in a financial position to actually do any overseas travel right at this particular moment, but maybe one day once I start getting all of the internet money, you know, all that internet money that you get from doing YouTube, all that internet money. When I start getting all that internet money, I can. Hello to Queen62019998. Who else have I not said hello to? I think hello MacCrafter707. There you go. Oh yes, thank you for my shirt. I had actually planned to wear a different shirt for this. I was going to wear my what's his name, Bob the Builder t-shirt, but I ended up wearing this one instead. So never mind. Okay, so anyhow, he dropped this into me, and the first thing that happened when he handed me this Amiga 1200, I'm like, this is heavy. And so I'm really curious to see what's inside it. But, you know, ultimately these things do need recapping. They're the same as the other ones. They've got surface mount electrolytic capacitors. They've got a few normal electrolytic capacitors. They do fail. They can leak. I've never found an Amiga 1200 with leaky caps. I've found them with bad caps, but not necessarily leaky caps. I have definitely found Amiga 600s with leaky caps. So I don't know if the different quality caps or different time frame or whatever the case is. Why did I stop recapping? Just not practical, unfortunately. I have a full-time job. I'm self-employed, and the amount of time that I would get, you know, having a YouTube channel is extremely time-consuming. Like crazy time consuming. So when you've got a full-time job and you're trying to do content for a YouTube channel, if you then add trying to do repairs and trying to do them in a timely fashion to keep customers happy and not getting all upset, it's just not possible. You know, I mean, I was finding myself with like half a day a week left for spending on repairs and recapping. And, you know, that just wasn't enough to get through, you know, a proper, you know, business sort of thing. If I did it full time, that'd be fine. But there isn't enough money in recapping. If you consider the amount of time that you spend on recapping compared to what people are prepared to pay. I mean, if I go in and I say, okay, I'm going to charge you, I don't know, $100 an hour or something like that, that's great. But if I end up sitting there spending 4 hours on something trying to diagnose a problem, here's your bill for $400, people are just going to, they're not going to, no way. Not going to happen. Okay, so almost done with my masters. Then I've got to find something else to do. Hopefully you can do something with your masters. Right, okay, so anyhow, we're hoping that it's not concrete inside here, but I will change the camera. I have to break out the wide angle lens because these things are a monster. For those who aren't aware of the Amiga, there's a very, very big sort of Amiga community out there. You had the Amiga 500, and I think the 1200 came after that, came out in about 1992. They did some pretty amazing things. We've always had a bit of an affinity with the Apple users and the Amiga users because the Amiga also uses Motorola chips. And in actual fact, this Amiga 1200 originally came out with, I believe, was the 68020 Motorola chip, which is the same CPU you'll find in a Mac 2, and it's the same CPU you'll find in the original Macintosh LC. So I actually have an Amiga 500, which is good because I'm going to need the power supply if I'm going to test to see if this works. I am planning to sell my Amiga 500 because I'm just not getting the use from it, and it makes more sense for it to be in the hands of someone who likes that sort of thing or has the time to spend on it. So we've got the Motorola chip inside, and these were a brilliant gaming computer. You've got to put yourself into the specific time frame. It's very easy to talk about gaming computers these days, and we automatically think of PCs with spec'd out GPUs and all that sort of stuff. But back at this time, when you imagine the sorts of games people were playing, the high benchmark was arcade games. You know, that was what people were really enjoying, was arcade games. And arcade games were kind of pushing the limits of what was able to be done with this sort of, you know, mass-produced hardware. And the Commodore, the Amiga range had an incredible range of arcade game replicas and played them really well. I've actually seen a lot of these games running on Amigas, and they are so good. I mean, they way better than any of the computers that I had at the time, around that time. Yeah, it is quite rainy, and of course does make a lot of noise when it hits the roof. So yeah. So send the Amiga to Greg Rotke. He will try and install Mac OS on it. No, I will not send anything to Greg Rotke, because the chances are you'll never get it back again, or it'll come back in pieces, or it'll get lost, or stolen, or broken, or something like that. So yeah, no, I will not be sending anything to him. So anyhow, that's kind of where we are with this. I mean, these basically came with a floppy drive built into the side here. It's an all-in-one unit. The computer's inside the keyboard. That's great. That's very typical of the computers of the time. I mean, my very first computer was an all-in-one in the keyboard. All you had to do was attach a screen to it. This one here has these outputs at the back. You can, what have we got here? Got mouse, game, disk drive, serial port, parallel port, left and right audio, video out. As you can see, it's quite an unusual connector there. That's designed specifically for one of those Commodore screens. It is my understanding you can do stuff with adapters to then make this work on a normal VGA, but you know. And then we've got composite output there. And then we have here an RF modulator. What that means is you can then run this on a standard TV on a particular channel. I don't know what channel it is, maybe 2 or 4 or 3 or something like that. 4 seems to pop into my head for some reason, but that could just be nonsense. And then of course you've got this square power plug on the side here. But so yes, you could actually just run this on a standard TV, as you could with a lot of the very early game consoles, things like in television and stuff like that. You would actually just tune that. People who are young would not understand this, but you would get your TV and you would actually tune it to the same channel that this was outputting, and you would watch it, you know, like as if, you know, you were watching a TV station. So that's got the RF modulator there, and that's got the composite output. Now, there's a very good chance this composite output won't work anymore. We'll know more when we look inside, or at the very least it will be bad. But I've got a fix for that, and the owner of this computer has actually said, please go ahead and do that fix, because I don't know whether I'm going to do output from that or that. I'd really like them both to work, which is good. I've had other ones in the past where I've said to people, do you want me to do the fix for the RF? And they've been like, no. I have no interest in using that. I'm only going to be using the video output, so I don't need that repair done. So this computer does put out, doesn't it? It's certainly got the the ports for it, and we've got some little invisible thing here, I guess, for some sort of upgrade. It's got a little panel just there, you can see. Okay, well, I think what we have to do now, there is a bit of a secret. Well, it's not a secret. There is something I know about this from when I looked at this underneath, and it gave me a very clear indication as to why it's so heavy. And I'm about to show this to you now, and then you'll see. The clue is right here, where it says 80 megabyte Seagate. So that is why this is so freaking heavy. It's got a hard drive inside. So isn't that fun? We're all well and truly set up. Now, it has been quite a while since I pulled one of these apart. I did do quite a few for a while there. I was actually offering Amiga recapping services to peoples, but I haven't done it in a while. Well, there's all bits from floppy drives in here. Here about that. So I'm going to have to put... We've got this panel just here. Someone's actually been at this with a screwdriver by the looks of it, so it's a little bit... what's the word? It's got little nicks in it. I'm going to have a go at removing this. I can't even remember how they come off, but I think that... Yeah, there we go. It's got it. All right, now, anyone here who is an Amiga connoisseur will immediately notice that there's something here that you would not normally see on an Amiga, and that is this here, a Motorola 68030 chip, and it looks like it is actually clocked at 50 megahertz. Is that serious? 68030 50. So that's a 50 megahertz 68030, and then I guess this is a RAM upgrade. So that's pretty cool. And we've got a little, I assume that's a battery. It's a 3-volt Panasonic battery. I assume that's probably keeping a clock there. Yeah, that's a little 50 megahertz crystal oscillator there. So isn't that nifty? That is definitely way more fancy than one that I've ever seen before. Do you think the Amiga 500s need a recap? Not from my experience, okay? So I've got my Amiga 500. They don't have any surface mount electrolytic caps on them. They've only got standard electrolytic caps, and I think they're a pretty good quality cap. I've got an Amiga 500, and it runs perfectly fine. Apparently the power supplies sometimes have some issues. My power supply is fine, but you can get reproduction for those power supplies. As long as you've got this stupid square plug, you know, you could probably make something up without too much trouble. Okay, so I am going to guess that in the world of the Amiga, this looks like it should come out this way. It looks like it can only come out this way because of the way it's clipped in here. So I'm going to have to try and coax it out. But I think that in the world of the Amiga, this particular upgrade is quite a good one. I'm just going to whip it out. I'm going to do it. Are you ready? Excuse me while I whip this out. Now, I guess that's probably for a 68888888882 floating point unit, I guess. Or something along those lines. I don't have a socketed one of those. I've only got a PLCC of that. But this looks to be in immaculate condition. I can't imagine there would be anything wrong with this at all. I mean, that looks totally pristine. I can check to see whether we're still getting any voltage from that Panasonic battery. We'll do that now. On. The review I did for this particular multimeter has been my second highest viewed video for the last 28 days. How about that? It's a negative. It's a positive there and negative there. 0.6 volts. The fact that this is actually soldered in suggests to me that this is a rechargeable battery, not just a standard lithium. Because they did make little sort of button cell rechargeables. So, all right, so we can pop him over here for the moment. Had to make a bit of room because the motherboards inside these are monstrous. Okay, pop this over here. Are there any Amiga fans in the chat? Just let me know. I'm curious. Or is everyone here sort of like Mac people that are just like, what is this thing? Or, you know, I'm just curious to know if there are Amiga folks in the chat. One thing I can definitely tell you about these that I don't like, they have a massive RF shield inside them. And it's a real pain in the backside. Started Amiga, then went to Mac. How about that? I was very envious of Amiga people back in the day because I thought they did some pretty amazing stuff, and I didn't have enough money for one. Oh no, the warranty seal. Warranty's void. Null and void. No more warranty. World in crisis. Upgrade it with a Gotek. Yeah, I've got a Gotek in mine as well. Look, there's a way to go. The only issue with the Gotek, which of course is easier to resolve now, wasn't easy to resolve when I first got my Amiga 500 because I didn't have a 3D printer. But the problem with the Gotek is it's sort of, if you want access to the outside of it from the floppy drive bay here, it doesn't go very well. Because these days, you know, to be easy, you just go and 3D print yourself a different case that just fit perfectly in. Someone's probably designed a Gotek case for an Amiga already, but I wouldn't want to presume, but I would think so. I do want to presume, actually. Right, are we coming off now? I feel like we've got enough, we've taken enough screws off. There aren't any screws under this, I think. There looks like it should have been a screw there. No screws under that. Nope. No screws under that. Nope. Okay, yep, it's coming off. I think we have to lift it from the other side. One of the most amazing things with this I've never seen before, this guy still has the protective sticker on the Commodore logo, the one like that you get from like manufacture. That is dedication, that is. I struggle with that. I really struggle. I look at things like that and I think that needs to be undone. Okay, so I'm just gonna disconnect that plug. I should take a photo of that first. Actually, it's pretty easy to know because they've actually set it up so it can only go in one way. But I will take a photo of it nonetheless. Because then we can take this top piece off and be gone with it. Be gone! Oh, piece of plastic. I might just move this out of the way so I've got a nice place to rest it. There we go. Oops, that's in the way, out of the way. Have a wall of Commodores, cool. Okay, so now look at that. It's a 2.5 inch hard drive in there. Isn't that cute? That is so cute. I've never seen that before, but you know, I should take a photo of it because I've never seen it before. Take a photo of something you've never seen of. You gotta. Oh, that's odd. Just got a message from someone that's saying that someone is not showing up in my chats, and it's someone I would never block. No chance. So let me just go in here and see if I can, if for people who might know Dave from Dave's Vintage Apple Tech, he's just contacted me, said he's in the chat, but he's not showing up. Is he showing up for anyone else? I certainly would never have blocked him. I'm going to just check because I need to be sure. Maybe YouTube has blocked him. Okay, where do we go here? Well, this is in settings, I think. And then there's a section on, was it community or something? Advanced settings, maybe? No. 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 Not there. I don't know where to find it. I don't know where to find it. I really want to make sure. Okay, probably in here. It's probably in there. I'm going to guess in the studio. And then we go here. Oh, here we go. There's the community section. No. Customization. No. No, that's not it. Bugger if I can find it. It's got to be here somewhere. Where is it? I'm going to search. Sorry about this, folks, but I really don't want Dave to feel excluded. I mean, I think he's even an admin. Oh, I don't want a video. I keep going to type on the bloody Amiga keyboard. Go to Google account settings. Google account settings. People and sharing. Sorry about this, everyone. When I first opened the stream, YouTube thought I wasn't a subscriber and wouldn't let me chat. Took a minute for it to sort itself out. That is crazy. Isn't that crazy? I feel like things are sort of starting to gradually unravel. Google account. There we go. People and sharing. Blocked. Not, definitely not blocked. I've just checked that the people that are blocked here are meant to be blocked and will remain blocked in perpetuity. But yeah, there's only 2 people in there, so I don't know what's happened. I do apologise, Dave, but I think it's beyond my control. All right, okay, we're going to continue with this. After that, I'll just check and make sure I haven't missed any chart. Yeah, weird. Isn't that weird? Tell Dave to reboot and try again. Weird. I seriously, you know, even just like the names that come up, the way some people's names come up wrong on the chat, that's just happening with more and more regularity now. So the wheels are coming off, folks. The wheels are coming off. Come on. Come undone. Is it a push down one? Is it a push down one or a lift up one? I'm sure it's a lift up one. There we go. That'll do nothing that a little bit of force won't fix. Let's go the lovely keyboard. If I remember rightly, inside these keyboards, there's a plastic, kind of what would you call it, like a plastic PCB, effectively, with a whole bunch of little traces on it and then little pads for the buttons. And you can replace that, I think. People have done reproductions of those. So if you find yourself in a predicament where you've got keys that aren't working, you can actually replace this whole piece in there. And the reproduction ones, I think they've even made them a bit thicker so that they last better. So just keep that in mind. I remember that from some of the Amiga days. K-Mac, is he here? There he is. Hello, Will. How are you going? Right. Okay, so here we are looking at the inside of this Amiga. We've got the floppy drive here. That is perfectly normal. But then we also have this little guy here, which is a little add-on that's been put in afterwards. And that is an 80 megabyte SCSI hard drive. And of course, there's not really enough room in here to stick a 3.5 inch. So it's a little 2.5 inch. So isn't that cute? And then we've got here a couple of ROMs here. These are V3 39.106. I've never had a go at programming ROMs for Commodores, but I think I will give it a crack because I've got an Amiga 500 and I think you can do ROM upgrades for those. Mind you, I might have already done that. It strikes me the sort of thing I might have actually bought. Alright, so that just comes off by the look of it. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Gotta love it. It's like half height. Nice. And I assume that's, is it SCSI? Do these use SCSI? Someone else can probably tell me that. Do Amigas use SCSI? That is the question that I put forward to those in the know. Okay, they've got a little screw to undo here to get rid of the floppy drive. There we go. I'll just take that screw and put it with the other screws. Open sesame. There we go. I might just put these over here as well. I think they'll be safer there. And that can come undone from there. Again, I'll take photos. Always a good idea to take photos, don't you reckon? Okay, 1204,000. Okay, uses ID. Okay, fair enough. Good to know. I might even have some old IDE drives of that size. If that one's dead or whatever. You'd be able to replace them just with a compact flash these days, wouldn't you? Because, I mean, IDE is basically, compact flash drives basically use IDE. So all you'd need is a little adapter and you could convert this to a solid state compact flash drive. That's what I would do. That's definitely what I would do. That's what I would do. Alright, now we've got to remove this. I'm just going to take a photo of it before I do that. Once again, I haven't done one of these in a while. I suppose I could always watch my recapping video from before, unless I already took them out. But as you can see, we've got this great, big, ugly, what do you call these things? RF shield. And I want it gone. One screw there. Any other screws? There must be more screws because it feels pretty solid still. But we will have to remove this by bending all these little metal tabs. See if I can do that without hurting myself. Here we go. This is a good screwdriver for that. Amiga. The name is Spanish for friend. How about that? Amiga as in amigo. Is it like amigo for one and amiga for many? I really don't know. I'm not particularly good with Spanish. I know a few Spanish words. But I was, born and raised in Australia, and one of the things about being born and raised in Australia at the time and where I was raised and everything is you really don't get an opportunity to learn any more languages. And you can pursue it, of course, as can anyone, but when I look at people from other countries who just part of their normal schooling to learn multiple languages, and it's like, not me. Got this little metal thing here. I'm going to pop this in here because I do not want to lose it. There we go. So I have done a couple of YouTube videos on the Amiga. Hey, look at that. And one of them was for the it was sort of like the hack for the RF output, which I'll talk about in a minute once I get this RF shield off. And the other, of course, I did like a recapping live stream. I don't think I've actually done any other pre-recorded Amiga videos. I mainly started working on Amigas simply because there was a demand for them to be recapped. And so I was like, well, there's no reason why I can't recap them, so I may as well take that on as well. At the times when I used to do recapping. If this was mine, it's not mine, but if this was mine, I would be throwing this RF shield away. Because I hate RF shields. But it's not mine, so I won't. So that just involves the bending of a whole bunch of tabs. And then we should be able to lift this out now. Oh, we've got to unplug this. Oh, that's right. I got to undo these. I forgot about these. There's all these little guys here. They've all got to come out. What a pain in the pooper. Too big. I had the right size of this somewhere. Is that it? Maybe that's it. Yeah, that's the one. Oh, balls. They're bloody tight. Mind the bendy bits. Yes, I do not want to do myself a mischief. I do not want to bleed today. Stand there like Jesse Ventura from Predator and say, I ain't got time to bleed. From the original Predator movie, which was very good. Well, they didn't really have a complete story when they started making it, so they actually hired one of the actors as a scriptwriter. So they're like, we really want you to act in this film, and oh, by the way, would you mind helping us finish it? What am I going to do? I'm going to do this. This will be much more practical. Yes. 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 I mean, I do have a handle for this particular little bit that I have in my hand. You know, as in, like, I could actually use it as it was properly designed. But that would involve getting up and moving over there to grab it. And I just don't know if I've got the stamina for that. I've had a request from the wife to do chicken wings for dinner tonight. So I need to now think of how I'm going to prepare them. What I'm going to do to these chicken wings to make them super yummy. Get on. Oh God, this one's just really in a bad position. I've got a tiny little spanner for these somewhere, but I don't have it here. There we go. I got it. No, we'll keep the chicken wings a bit of a secret. I mean, the fact of the matter is, chicken is probably the main protein I eat, but I just don't eat our chickens, so we just keep it a bit of a secret. When I come down here, because I've got a freezer down here in the laundry where I sort of keep all of the frozen meat. So when I come down here to grab some chicken thigh fillets or something like that, I hide them as I walk up the stairs so they can't see. Don't want any of them developing complexes. They're actually not laying very well at the moment, and I think that's mainly because we've recently introduced 3 new chickens. Should we say hello to the chickens? We say hello to the chickens. There we go. They're all up at the moment. There's 2 black ones there, and a couple of pigeons on the other side of the cage, wishing they were on the inside, because that's where all the food is. The other ones are either down below or up above, where you can see here. But they're all there, because I did see them before when I came in. They might come down here eventually. Yeah, they did, didn't they? We were missing 4 of them. Still got a lot of rats around here too, unfortunately. They eat the... they can get into this enclosure, because rats are very good at getting into enclosures like this. I can potentially rat-proof it, but boy, that's going to take a lot of work. Actually, that doesn't need to come undone. That one can stay done up. There we go. Yeah, but, you know, it's just unavoidable. I have to try and find a way of rat-proofing this enclosure, and that will involve burying some chicken wire down into the ground so they can't dig into it. Not easy. Alright, I will change back to this view here, because at a certain point I'm sure people are going to be like, why are we looking at chickens and not looking at the repair of this computer? Alright, now we've got the board out, we can have a little bit of an inspectorunio. It's nice where we've got this cutout here, in the same place we have the cutout, they have the little images here for the video. Isn't that nifty? Very convenient. I'll just zoom in a little bit. I zoomed right out because it's such a big case. We can zoom in a little bit now. Alright, so one of the funny things about the Amigas, this is certainly from my experience, is that they have names. They have names for all the chips. They give them funny names. Have we got any here? Or are they just labelling them normally? I have had a look at some of these where they have printed on the PCB all these funny names for the different chips. I think they're like women's names or something. But this one doesn't appear to have it. I can't see anything like that. Maybe it's one of the other models. Yep. So what have we got? Let's just have a look and see if we can identify any of these. It's supposed to have... There it is. There's the CPU there. It's very small and unassuming, but that is the Motorola 68020 CPU. As you can see, it's quite small. The 68020 that you would have found in, say, a Macintosh LC or in a Mac 2 is a lot bigger. The Mac 2 is a great big socketed chip, and the LC, I think it's a square one. Growing up, my chicken would eat rats and field mice. Look, the chickens aren't big fans of the rats, and they do chase them out of the way if they're getting a bit annoying. But I've never actually seen them eat them. It would make my life a lot easier if they did, but they don't seem to. Have I said hello to Acetone 20 and to Dark Meter 7395? If I haven't, hello. We'll check in with the chicken cam a little bit later on to see if any more come back. Okay, so here we are. This is the Amiga 1200 board, and as you can see, we've got a few surface mount electrolytic caps. Now, they don't look bad to me at all, and that is in keeping with every Amiga 1200 I've ever recapped, and I have done a few. My general observation is that the caps on these, although they definitely need replacing, they're surface mount electrolytics, they're bloody old, they need replacing, but they're really not too bad. I don't see any visible corrosion, I don't see any visible leaking, I don't see any swelling on any of these, so it's just a standard recap job. We've got to replace them all, and I think we've got a very, very good chance of this just working. The hard drive might be dead after all this time, that's always possible, but it's looking really good to me. So we just got to take the caps off, do a little bit of cleaning, drop the new caps on. Let me check and make sure. I'll need my recapping guide for starters, so let's just get that up on the screen for starters. I think is my 68K thing still working? That should all be working beautifully now. Mind you, it does crash every now and again. Yeah, here we go. Look at that. Okay, share screen. Oh, it's done it again. So stupid. It does this all the time. I'm just going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and there it is. Okay, so this is the retro edition of my Recapper Mac website, and I think we should find the Amiga on here somewhere. It's not what we're going to use, but Amiga 1200, there we go. Click on that, and there we have the Amiga 1200 recapping guide. This website is now, I won't say stable, because it does, the computer that is doing the hosting, which is a Macintosh LC3, does still crash from time to time, and I have to just go and switch it off and on again. But I've got this now set up with, what do you call it, reverse proxy, so you don't need to stick any extra port numbers on the end. You just do 68k.com.au and it takes you straight to it. I may do more with this domain name in the future. I haven't really decided yet. But, you know, how many recapping websites out there do you know have a live feed to a chicken coop? Not many, I dare say. So, you know, just tell your friends. Okay, so this is not the website we're going to visit. We are actually going to visit the Recapper Mac. Recapper Mac. There we go. This is the real website. And if we go here to resources, oh gosh, don't click on that screen, click on this screen. We go to resources, resources, right down to the very, very bottom, Amiga 1200, and we've got ourselves a nice little recapping guide there. So that's nice and easy. It could do with a little bit of an update, granted, but it's there and all ready for us. Right, okay. Oh, you like my hat? So you like my little cap hat? I've actually thought one day I should actually make an electrolytic capacitor hat, 3D print one, but then I realised, no, that's a stupid idea, so I decided not to. Where have we got? I've actually got, here we go, a specific Amiga thingy, and I have rated some of the parts from these, so hopefully I still have everything I need. But this is my Amiga container. And this has all the caps I need. Oh, I'm missing some 47s. What do I need? 47, oh, two 4716s. Well, thankfully I've got 47s on it. Is it? I do actually have 47, so over there. So we should be fine. I'll just take the 47s from my other container. So I've just rated this one. There's 47 35s. They've put 35s in here. They don't need to be 35s because the originals are 16s. I'll just go and see what I have in electrolytics. They're all good quality ones that I have. Surface mount electrolytic. I've even got a second one of surface mount electrolytic. So I've got 4716s here. Yep. Should be fine. And I'll just see what I have in the other one as well. So we're all good. We've got 47, so I can recap it. I was worried that I may not be able to, but I can. There it is. Another one. What have we got here? Oh, these are nice ones. I'm going to use these. 4725's polymer. That's what we're going to be using. They are nice caps. Expensive caps. Expensive. There we go. So I'm going to just pop them in here. 2235. So I need 5 of those, and I've got 2. But I think we should be fine. 22. If not, I will have to order some more, and I'll have to finish this another time. That's fine. It's not the end of the world. 22 and 50. This is what happens when you don't do these things for a long time. 233. Yeah, I will have to order some more 22s. Well, that is not the end of the world. We'll just leave those ones undone for the moment. We'll just get everything else done. But we do have to whip off all these caps. That's the important part we need to do here. Yes, indeed, indeedy. What have we got? We've got a grand total of 5, 7, what is that? 11. And then there's either 3 or 4 of the 10 microfarad. Some of them have 3, some of them have 4. And over here is the parts. Heck, we're looking at the wrong thing now. I should change to the top screen. Here we go. Top screen here. These little guys here, these fail. And this is the part that causes the issue with the composite output. And you can fix it by replacing this chip here with a different one, which is what I'm going to do. But before I do that, I do actually want to check and see what the output is like. It's these Z222. There's sort of some sort of filtery thingy mabooble. All right. Well, first thing I've got to do is get these caps off. Some of them I'm actually going to use with the solder tweezers, simply because they're really close to some plastic, so the hot air is probably not the way to go. See, up here, really close to plastic. Here, really close to plastic. Here, really close to plastic. I can't speak anymore. When did I lose the ability to speak? Okay. So, yep. Doo-doo-doo. These are my secure solder tweezers. I have forgotten how they actually work. I generally know how to switch them on, but then I'm not sure how to switch them off. So this is them here. We're getting up to temp there. So that's the kind of problem I have with them. I have on, but then I just unplug them when I'm finished with them. All right, let's see if I can get this off. If the solder is not too crusty, they generally come off pretty easily. It's on solid. It's either got some adhesive under it, which of course is always possible. Let's just add some solder to it and see. Might need to go to a microscope mode. How about that? Yeah, it's got a bit of crust on it actually, now that I look at it. If we just do a little bit of... Oh god, we're getting even worse flickering now. Sorry everyone. I will fix it one day. You watch me. This eye is really dirty. Let's do it with this. It's still dirty. Where's the dirt coming from? Maybe it's inside. But you can actually see there's quite a bit of crust there if you can just get a bit of a glimpse of that. Yeah, it's mega crusty. That's where the the tweezers start to become a bit of an issue. I'm going to hit this with a bit of flux. This is all going to be cleaned afterwards, so it doesn't matter if we get this all goopy. Being very stubborn, isn't it? I'm very close to switching on the hot air station. Whee! I just popped the cap. One of the things you always know with a cap that pops is it was still sealed, because the ones that have broken the seal, they don't pop. Yeah, this is really crusty, which means that this capacitor has been leaking, even though it looked quite nice. That was just a bit deceptive. It's not nice. Yeah, I'm going to have to give that a good old scrape. Scrapety scrape scrape. I did a review of that tweezer tool, so if you have a look at my pre-recorded videos to Ryan Design, or is it Ryan? I'm probably Ryan. There's no need for me to try and fancy things up. Yeah, if I have actually done a review video of that. I'll tell people what I think of it. It is quite good, but the main issue I had with it was not necessarily delivering enough heat for some of the bigger components. Worked really well for the little surface mount guys. But when I started getting to some bigger chunky stuff, it did suffer a little bit getting the heat there. It's looking good. It's looking good. It's nice and clean now. Look at that. Got to get some solder onto that though. Come on. There. There. Thank you. Ay, caramba. I've got to sort something out about my vision here, because I don't know what's going on, but maybe it is inside. I'll get myself a little bit of paper towel here. A little clean under there. Oh, come on, you stupid thing. Far out. There we go. That's one way around it. Just checking to see that this lens is all reasonably clean. I have a Barlow lens on this. Are you sure you wish to remove scope? No. Pressing things. Still freaking dirty. So it's either happening inside the scope at the moment, which is always possible, or it's happening... Actually, you know how I can tell? I'll just swap the eyepieces over. I'll swap the eyepieces over, and if the muck follows the eyepiece, then I know it's the eyepiece. Yep. Yep, it's the eyepiece. Well, that's a pain in the pooper. Okay, well, I'm going to have to probably pull it apart, which I'm really not looking forward to, but... I mean, not now. I'll be able to get by now. I'll stop complaining about it, I promise. Not a fan of electrolytics. I'm not a fan of... Yeah, I mean, I can understand. I am spilling this all over my leg. Thankfully, it's isopropyl alcohol, which dries up very, very quickly. But I'm not a fan of having it all over my leg. Right. Where we go. What is those spots with the chips gone? I saw when we're on overhead camera on the left. There's some gaps on here where there are no things. Like, for instance, there's a gap there, and there's a gap here. And I'll be honest, I have no idea what goes in those spots, if that's what you're referring to. Now, what I do need to find out is the 10 microfarad 25. Where are they? Where are they? 10 microfarad 25. There we go. This one has 3, 1, 2. 10 microfarad 25. There's one there. 10 microfarad. Yeah, okay. So this is one of the ones that only has 2. Some of them have 3, but this one has only 2. So that's... Oh, no, sorry. This one has only 3. Some of them have 4. 10... Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, all right. So that's established. Let's keep going with the removal and cleaning. Oh, come on, I filled you up. There we go. Thank you. Right, so let's see if we can get any of these off of tweezers. This one looks like it's a good candidate. Don't you reckon? That one looks good because it is... the solder doesn't look really, really junky. Yeah, that's sort of melted quite well. As on one side, anyway. Is this set to only heat up one side? Oh no, it came off. I'm sitting here wondering if it's working, and then I lift the things up and the cap comes off. Now, I'm going to do this from the other angle because I don't want to melt that little connector there. The 2 opposing polarities here. You can actually get a whole bunch of different... what do you call them? Like tips for this, these soldering tweezers I'm using. They're a very standardized tip. And so, you know, if you're feeling like you're not getting enough heat, you can try and get ones with a slightly thicker tip. As you can see, the tips on these are tiny. FPU for that quad flat pack. Okay, fair enough. Wonder if he wants me to put one on. Actually, it's probably going to be no good with the accelerator. The FPU would have to be on that other one, on the accelerator card. And as I say, I don't actually have a socketed one of those. I've only got PLCC. Now, I would normally just use hot air for these. Anyone who has watched me recap before, if I'm removing electrolytic caps, I normally just use hot air. I think it's just faster and easier and all that sort of stuff. But I'm just a little bit concerned about this because there's just so much plastic on this board. It's plastic everywhere. I mean, look at this part. How am I going to do this? Huh? How am I going to do that without melting something? Tricky. Tricky. There are a lot of people out there that just use the twist and pull method. Not a fan. Not going to stop anyone else from doing it, but don't expect me to do it. Then the other one is, of course, the whole clip the top off. So you just basically get some, you know, some little side cutters, and you just cut the top off so that you're just left with a couple of pins, and then you can just remove them one pin at a time. That method, I feel it has some merit. It's still not the method I use, but I can sort of, I would be more likely to stand behind that one than the twist and pull method. Oh, you know what I need to do right now? I need to go and check and see. Here comes the rain again, falling on my head like a memory. I can see a bit of crusty here. Look at that. Look at that. There's a leaky one. Hey? Did you have a go at it? That is gnarly. I'm going to take a photo of that. That's worth having in the collection. It's pissing down, folks. It's amazing the macro lens on these new phones. Just astonishing. Yeah, got a great photo of that. Great photo. Okay, so with this, what I may do is just have a bit of a scrape at this first. Get some of this gunk off the top. There's the pin. Oh, it's a little bit out of focus there. Sorry, everyone. When I look through my eyepiece, the focus is a lot more forgiving. Okay, let's see how we go. And I still think we're going to struggle a bit to get this one off, but and of course it's right next to a great big piece of plastic, so I don't have a whole lot of options. And I can stick a little heat shield there. Oh, look, it's come off. Really does feel like one side gets hotter than the other with these tweezers, and I think it's because of the tip. Okay, let's now just do a bit of this. Ta-da! Yeah, that one is definitely leaked. Make no mistake. Well done, champion. Jay from the House of Moth is here. Hello there. I did not say there would be Xserve content. I said I had been having a discussion with Jeff Geerling about an Xserve. I did not say there would be Xserve content in this live stream. He's mixing two conversations. You know, I still haven't got my G5 Xserve up and running because I still don't have a PCI bloody GPU. I've only got, like, what's that, AGP ones. And I think, what is it, the old blue and white G5s use PCI? But I don't want to pull the bloody graphics card out of my blue and white G5. I just don't. No. I said the word Xserve. Jay is a big fan of the Xserve, I've got to tell you. How many do you have, Jay? Do you still have that large collection of them, or have you slowly got rid of some of them? Minty Joe, hello there. Minty Joe is showing up as Minty Joe today. Minty Joe doesn't normally come up as Minty Joe. Right. Still got them all, only take up half the basement. I've got like an Intel one, and I've got a G5 one. The G5 one works quite well, or it seems to, fires up, but I can't get any video output because I don't have a video card, because they didn't come with a video card, which is fucking annoying. I guess people were just using them headless or something, which maybe I can do, I don't know. But I don't know how to install something on it if I can't see it. And then the Intel one that I have is okay, but it was somewhere where that got quite a lot of damp air, and as a result, there's a lot of corrosion inside it. And it's one of the ones that has the built-in RAID, so you can actually install 3 drives inside it, and then you can RAID them inside the Xserve. I think it's 3 drives. And the RAID controller doesn't work. I need to have another crack at it, though. I did have a bit of a look to see if I could fix it. And I got it working for a little bit, and then it stopped again. So probably need to have another crack at it. Okay, you can install them so you can reach them with remote desktop. No GPU needed. Okay, I might need a tutorial on that. Thank you. We need to try and get Jay to make YouTube videos again, because Jay hasn't made YouTube videos in quite some time. And I keep encouraging him to do it, but he doesn't. He doesn't listen to me. I keep saying to him, Jay, I really enjoyed watching your videos. And it just falls upon deaf ears. You know what? I'm just going to hit this one with hot air, because it's frickin' taking me forever. Where's my little heat shields? Heat shields! They're normally there. I must have used them and not put them back. That's so unlike me. I always put everything back. I never leave anything out on the bench. See how easy that was? We've got some electrolytic caps that need to come out here. I might take those out now, because they'll make the removal of these surface mount electrolytics. Sorry, I've got through-hole electrolytics. So I'll take these out, and then it'll be easier for me. So we've got 2 here. 2 little pins. Oh, look at the corrosion. Look at that. Check that out. It's going right through. That's a veer there, I think. Yep, we're going to have to check and make sure we've got continuity there. Don't like the look of it. And I assume that's come from these electrolytics here. Look at that. This definitely needs a good clean in the ultrasonic once this is done. It is a good thing that this has come to me when it has, because I really do feel like, oh man, that stinks. Anyone who's ever done any recapping of leaky electrolytic caps knows exactly the smell I am referring to. See if I can get some extra solder into here. Corrosion there. It's amazing how deceptive these things can be sometimes. You think you're looking at something which is like, oh, yeah, this has got no corrosion, it's pristine, look at it, it's a magic condition. And then you start mucking around with it and you're like, holy cow. Or some other, whatever your preferred expletive is. Dagnabbit, you might say. Consarnate, even. Okay, that's the cap. Now, I don't actually see too much leaking from that one, so that's probably just getting leakage from another cap somewhere. But it's definitely leaking. Something's leaking. Got there in the nick of time, my friends. Nick of time. With that. Looking good. I really don't like the look of this one here. It looks so bad. Polyfish heads. Oh dear. I've got all these really, really old laptops, and I just noticed someone there sitting there talking about Linux, and I'm sort of so tempted to get these and install the Linux on them so that they become, you know, quite usable and whatnot. But then the question arises, what then? I don't need any more laptops. I've got so many laptops. I've got a laptop for every occasion, and I just don't need any more laptops. Even if I get them up and running really well, say, hey, look, I've got Linux running on this and it's running beautifully, and I can browse the web and I can use, I don't know, LibreOffice or something like that, or something, you know, turn them into something very most useful. I'm like, I don't need any more laptops. I've got my great big 17-inch laptop, and that's, you know, I mean, you've got to have one of those old Apple 17 inches. I mean, there is nothing quite like those gigantic 17-inch screens on those things. It's beautiful. Apple just don't make anything like that anymore. And then I've got like a reasonably modern Intel. That's a 2018, I think I have. And that runs quite well. And that's my main laptop. That's one I use to look professional. And then I have an 11-inch MacBook Air. That's a high-spec one. That's one that's it's one of the. It's quite an oldie, but it's got an i7 in it, and it's got more RAM than usual, and it's got more storage in it than usual and everything. And that's a really great one because the 11-inch is just so small. You just pop it in the glove compartment. If you're going somewhere, you don't know if you're going to need a laptop or not, and you just have it there. It's very convenient. And then, yeah, that one doesn't look leaky either. And then I have a 13-inch MacBook Air, just because I have. Why not? And then I've got like a 15-inch MacBook Pro that runs really well, and that's got the high-res screen on it and everything. Oh, and then I've also got another one. I've got like a 2013. I've got like an Intel. It's a MacBook Air, I think. One of the ones that has a Retina screen. I can't remember what it is. But I got that one as well. That one's got a butterfly keyboard. They suck. Butterfly keyboards suck. Oh, Tev Rudin's here. I don't think I said hello to you. Hello. Ironically, one of the apps that I use the most out of any app ever is the Apple messaging app. And unfortunately, I can't run that on Linux, because I'm always chatting to my friends. I'm a real chatterbox, which you would never know from watching my live streams. Let's have a look at that one. That will be above that. So this is the rather sus looking via here, right there. So I would definitely want to check that for continuity. And of course these are, look how crunchy these ones are as well. Look at that one. Look at that. That's coming up. That's lifting without me even applying any heat to it. Look at it. Look at it. Just look at it. Would you look at it? Just look at it. Whenever I run a Retina, I always run them with the highest possible resolution, the most amount of screen real estate. Even if I have to squint to look at them, I just can't help myself. I want screen. I need more screen. Hey. Okay, so this one's a bit of a mess. I can just see now. Have a look under this. Look at it. Look at it. What is all this goo? What is it? It's disgusting. Go wash your hands. This is really crunchy. It's funny, you just go from having this attitude of like, oh wow, this thing is just so tidy, to the point where you're like, oh man, this thing is just full of corrosion. In the blink of an eye. I remember one time I had to go on holidays and I knew I was going to have to work because there was this project which I hadn't got finished, I hadn't got approval, and I knew that it was just going to go on through the weekend. Or actually, it wasn't even a weekend, it was a weekday. I remember I'd gone on holidays for like Friday, Saturday, Sunday or something like that. Or yeah, I think I was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, coming home on a Monday or something like that. And I just knew this project was going to leak into my Friday, so I packed up my 17-inch MacBook Pro. It's a 2010, I think, a dual core i7, I think it is, something like that. 2011s, of course, you don't want to have one of those because they've got the dicky GPU. But the 2010, you know, I mean, the i7s, when I saw this one come up, I saw it was an i7 version, I'm like, yep, want it. And I remember just, you know, taking it on holidays with me, and then I think I might have even had my iPad set up using Duet as a second screen. So I was working on that with my iPad to the left, and I remember thinking to myself, I've just got a portable office with this great big laptop. This is so good. So much screen real estate. Because, you know, I mean, I was doing like actual graphics stuff. I wasn't doing just writing letters or some crap or developing. I was actually making up HTML emails. Okay, this is looking better. It may not look like it's looking better, but it is looking better. Look at it. Look at it. I love being able to text in Mac OS. I couldn't agree with you more. I feel like that there are two killer features inside the Mac OS that I use just all the time, and I would miss terribly if they were taken away. One is just being able to send messages. You know, that is just huge. That, like, if I couldn't do that, I'm not interested. Thank you. Whatever you have to offer, whatever offering you are showing me, if I can't send text in the OS, not interested. The other is Quick Look. And if you're not a Mac user, you may not know what Quick Look is. But Quick Look, which came in, and I think it was Leopard, OS Leopard, and has been around ever since, is just one of the most useful things in the world. And when I happen to find myself on a PC and I want to just check a file, then I press the space bar and nothing happens, and I'm just like, curses! Okay, what does Sebastian say here? Cheers from Montevideo, Uruguay. Hello. I think I'm saying that. Montevideo, is that right? You love the Amiga 1200, but the caps are so bad that it is difficult to find one in good shape. Agreed. And we're discovering that here today. I mean, I've come across two really crusty-looking caps. I mean, this one's got a little bit of leakage coming out. This one's got some pretty heavy corrosion there. And the rest actually don't look too bad, but boy, we've had some shockers so far. It's certainly slowed us down, that's for sure, because there's been quite a lot of cleaning to get them looking good. I'm going to try this with the tweezers again. See how we go. Come on, tweezers. Oh, there are a few things stopping me from embracing MKV. And 265, what is it, H265, 26, whatever, the MP4 encoding. But that is so stupid. That encoding, that 265 encoding, is just greedy bastards looking to get money, and it's the reason why I do everything in 264. I don't care how good 265 is. I'm going to keep using 264 because of the greedy bastards that have made it so it's really expensive for companies to use their encoding. Greedy bastards. It reminds me of the days of the old VHS and Beta videotapes. There was absolutely no doubt about the fact that Beta was better quality, better size of tape. You know, I mean, they were the way to go. But good old Sony said, no, you're going to have to pay if you want to use our machine. And the VHS, which was made by, can't remember the name of the company. It'll come to me. It's in my head somewhere. They just allowed everyone to use VHS, and so guess which one became popular? People just don't learn. Oh, man. Would you just come off? Please? Making a right job of this thing. Yeah, these tweezers aren't really doing it, but they do a great job if you, like if I was removing this resistor up here, great job. Where they don't work terribly well is when you have corrosion on the solder. They definitely don't work well for that, because they just don't have the heat to permeate through the crunchy stuff. But to be honest, it's probably not so much the tweezers. It's more the what do you call those things? The things on the these things. Ow, that was hot. These things. I've forgotten the word. You can remove them and replace them. My God, I've just forgotten all of the words in the English language, except for those ones. Okay. And it does really seem like one side gets hotter than the other. There is a configuration for that, so I probably need to tinker with that a little bit. The format the porn industry adopted was a major factor that determined the outcome. Okay. Okay, so this one here remains with nothing on it. You know what, I'm just going to hit these ones with some hot air and we will just whip them off. Whip, whip, whip. Cool whip. This is going to have to come off too, the chip above it. Oh, Jesus, look at that. We got some bubbling up there. Let's see if we can push that back down again. Some boards don't like heat very much. This is one of them. And it'll be fine, it'll be okay. It's not like it's going to lose anything, but you can see it sort of delaminating. So, I'm going to try and push that down again. Yeah, that's alright. It's going back down again. That was a bit of a shit, wasn't it? Okay, so let's clean these up. Oh, God, I really burned my finger before. I did that thing that I always talk about. I very rarely actually burn myself on the things producing the heat. I burn myself on things made hot by the heat. And I burned myself on one of the caps I removed. There are some boards that are much more prone to bubbling than others. There are some you can just hit with indefinite amounts of heat and they don't bubble at all. And there are others that bubble quite readily. And I guess it has to do with the manufacturing processes they use and whatnot. But I have seen that before. It's typically not really an issue. But all of the caps actually on this board have been very, very stubborn to remove. I need to find someone to blame for that. Let's see who we can think of. Someone who I can blame for the caps being difficult to remove. Someone who maybe has absolutely nothing to do with this, but I just always like to have someone that I can blame. Well, Dana's not here, is he? Yeah, it's got to be Dana. Steve's not here either. All these people with things to do on their Friday night. I don't know. I went on a picnic this morning. Good use of a Saturday morning. Even though the weather was a little bit... Oh, it was inclement when we left, but by the time we got to the park to have our picnic, the weather was beautiful. A little windy, but not raining or anything like that. It was quite nice. Okay, so the step here that I'm following is to get these pads shiny and new. I need to make them so that they will happily accept new components on them. At the moment, you know, if they're all crusty and crunchy, you try and put the new components on, try and put some fresh solder on, and it will be a very difficult job. I don't need to clean this one up because nothing's actually going to go there. It's only going to go in these spots. And I did make the discovery when I started actually doing this that I don't actually have enough of a particular type of capacitor. So regrettably, I am going to have to order some before I can even finish this board. There's a little, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a little gap appearing there between those two. I just need to check and make sure I've got continuity. But before I do that, I do need to replace this scalpel blade. There we go. Got one here sitting under Davros. Got my little Davros over there. Yep, Dana's not here. He can be blamed. Oh, I remember that. I remember that Mac ad, Mitty Joe. Right, okay, so what did I want to do? I just wanted to clean this up a little bit. I just need to check and see. Let's get the old multimeter out. We'll put it into beepity beep mode, sometimes called continuity mode, but I like beepity beep mode. And that's beepity beep mode there. I don't know if you can hear it, but that's going beepity beep. So I'm just going to put one there and one here. And we're good. So even though there's that little line there, we are getting continuity. So I'll just make sure that's loaded up with solder when I put a new component on. But I think we're all fine. Oopsie. DVD ripping takes some disk space. Yes, it sure does. Come on. I'm going to have to replace this thing. It's just not working terribly well anymore. It's my little thing that I squeeze out isopropyl alcohol with. Now this board will get ultrasonically cleaned when I'm finished. It will have to be because it's very dirty. There's nothing really major on this board for putting it into an ultrasonic cleaner. I'll probably take the metal cover off the RF modulator just so that it doesn't trap any liquid in there. But other than that, these clean fine. They do need a big ultrasonic cleaner though because they're a pretty big board. But thankfully, behind me is a 30-litre ultrasonic cleaner. And I've got, I can put gigantic boards into that. I can put Quadra 900s, Quadra 950s. I can put Macintosh 2FX. And of course Amiga 1200. Looking good, looking good. This is definitely the part of the board that's got the most, that's the technical term. And we've got a couple more electrolytic caps to remove. I'm going to just whip this one off here. I'm going to add some solder to it first though. That's there. There. Ooh, out of focus. There we go. Okay. You know, once again, doing what I'm doing right now is just a reminder to everyone that recapping needs to be done. If you've got your little piece of nostalgia sitting in the cupboard somewhere and you're like, oh man, there's my old computer, I'm going to fire it up one day. You know, the two things you have to always think about is, first of all, does it have a little, you know, sort of clock battery in there? If it does, check and make sure it hasn't exploded. Spewed its guts all over the board. And then the other thing you need to check, of course, is whether you've got capacitor leakage. Because the longer that gets left, the worse it gets. And what a shame it is that we have all these computers that we sort of, you know, we have all these wonderful long-term memories of using. And then, you know, you have some of them that just can't be repaired. One of the reasons why some of the computers out there are getting so darn expensive, because there are just so few in working order anymore. I've still got a little bit of cleaning up to do on this board before I can start putting new components on. But we're getting very close to that stage now. Okay, let's get rid of all the solder from in here. I did a video on Beginner's Guide to Soldering Electronics a long time ago. I'm actually going to do an update of it someday because I did do it such a long time ago that I sort of feel that it does need a little bit of a, you know, a fresh approach. You know, this is how I would have done it sort of thing. But anyhow, I spent a bit of time in the beginning of the video just sort of saying, okay, you know, just clarify something here. The word S-O-L-D-E-R I pronounce as solder. I realise that in some parts of the world it is pronounced solder. And there are a whole bunch of reasons for that, but I'm not going to go into them now. The most important thing is we just all know what I'm talking about. And some absolute loser jumps into the chat and spends goes into quite a great length of detail about exactly how Americans pronounce it. And I sort of thought to myself, okay, you didn't really watch the video, did you? The way I pronounce it, S-O-L-D-E-R, is also the way they pronounce it in the UK. It's going to be difficult getting the solder out of here because it's got this great big massive copper plane. Have the eyepieces on your scope always had those white rings around them? Just noticed. No, they haven't. This is a relatively recent addition, and I'll explain why. We Americans pronounce it cork. My last pair of glasses. I've got a new pair of glasses. So here, I'm just going to change over here for a second so I can be me. Hello, me. This is a new pair of glasses frames. Got these just last weekend. This is, I think, the first live stream I've done with them, and picked these up, and I had to replace the old ones because the old ones kind of had these, well, particularly on the left eye, this kind of like mark around the eye where it was from the microscope. So when I'm sitting here looking in the microscope, it was rubbing on the lens. And over time, over gradual months, it had just got worse and worse and worse, and it was kind of blurry in that area. So what I did was I made these little caps for the outside. So the 3D printed caps just clip over on the outside, and then I have glued to them some felt. And so this felt is designed to try and protect my spectacles, my lenses. And so we'll just see how well that works in time. Can I get the solder out? Can we fix it? This is right, like serious heat here. I might have to double up with the hot air station or something to see if I can get a bit more heat. Actually, I don't want to do that. I'm worried about the delamination. I could use solder needles, except I don't know where my solder needles are. God. Son of a gun! I do have recollections of having this problem when I'm working on these before. Just trying to get... Oh, I dropped the thing. I don't want to lean over and pick it up. I'll make funny noises. Can I find something else? See if we can just find something else. Here we go. This will do it. Oops. Just changed screen. I wonder if the floor pedals still work. Yeah. Yeah, they do. Well, this is great. This is great. Ever since getting this particular soldering station, which is really good at delivering heat, I've never really had any trouble getting solder out of these holes. This is the first one that's given me some grief, but you can kind of see why. It's just copper everywhere. So one of the things you can do when you've got one of these kind of problematic holes filled with solder is you can poke them out with a solder needle, which is basically just stainless steel. Solder will not stick to stainless steel, it just doesn't. So if you get a piece of stainless steel and you shove it through the hole while it's hot, it'll push the solder aside and then you end up with a hole. It'd be good if I had some low melt solder, but I don't. I could just like have a quick look for the solder needles. They might be here. I mean, they're probably just under something. I'm looking at all the places where it would be. Oh, look, it's R2-D2. Is that? No. They're in a nice little plastic container. So if I catch a glimpse of the little plastic container, I'll know I have them. No. Okay, well, what else can we try? I guess I can try a little bit of hot air. In addition to the normal soldering. I'm going to run out of hands though. What I used to do on the old station is I had this great big, actually I might even have one. Have a look. Do you think the Brucinator? I don't know. Maybe. Can try. Let's give it a whirl. Nope. Have another crack. Nope. Brucinator's letting us down. You're killing me here. You know, there is another thing I can potentially do, and then I can just melt it and then shove the new the new capacitor inside. Stranger things have happened. So what I used to do when this would happen before is I would ditch this, my standard tip, and I would get a great big chonky tip. Now I've got this tip here, which is kind of chonky. It's one of these knife tips. This might get me a little bit more heat on the spot. It's warming. It's struggling a little bit here because it's all the heat's getting sucked away. Come on, try harder. Why is it not getting hot? Why aren't you getting hot? Just try and disconnect and connect it again. It's just not getting hot. I don't know what's going on here. On. Might be something wrong with this tip. I don't normally use this tip, so there could be something wrong with it. There's the temperature gauge up there saying it's heating at 100%, but it's just not getting hot. It's actually cooling down. Turn this off. 1.21 gigawatts. I have more tips floating around here. I can probably find one that's more appropriate. Appropriate. It's just getting colder. It's not getting hot at all. I think this tip might be done and dusted. And it's just a cheapie, so not the end of the world. What if I put a different tip in? Please insert the soldering iron tip. I will. I'll do that. I was going to put this one in. This one is probably the worst tip I could possibly use, but... Okay, this is getting hot. Boom. Straight up there. I'm guessing this tip is baked. Just definitely not getting enough heat there. Look at that. I got it right inside. I don't think there's any benefit in that, but I did. Hey, look at that. I got a hole. It worked. My stupid idea worked. There's such a fine line between clever and stupid. Okay, we can move on now. Thomas, hello there. Can it be saved? Is that a genuine question? The answer to that is, yeah, probably. Right, I've got to go around and clean some of these pads, because some of them I just whipped off and didn't do any cleaning. And now I need to make them look all pretty. Oh, what did I just lose? Oh, I lost my little stormtrooper's head. That's alright. I never really had any doubt that I would be able to sort this computer out, but it's more just creating the drama. You know, that's why I say that on the thumbnail. Can it be saved? It's like, yeah, we gotta create drama. That's what people expect. Clickbait. Everyone loves it. God, I haven't got my bloody fume extractor on. That's Jay's responsibility to tell me to put the fume extractor on. Here's my fume extractor guardian angel. Was gonna say it, but didn't. Oh my goodness. No thought or consideration for my welfare. My guardian angel has left me to my own devices. I think that's all of them. I'm just going to check with my recarping guide. There was... Oh no, there's one up there that needs cleaning. And one there. Okay. A couple more still need cleaning. And then we can try and figure out how we're going to get these bloody caps in here without melting plastic. I'm going to need my conical tip. Jay loves using a conical tip. He always rejoices when I bring out a conical tip. He's always like, at last, the conical tip is here. I need to get a new pair of these pliers. These ones are starting to get a little bit kind of tired. Whosever idea it was to make these little surface mount diodes round like that, curse them. Because I don't like them. Get a bit of hot air sometimes and you hit them and then they just roll away. They have short and long-term memory issues. I think that's just called memory issues, isn't it? Alright, let's check. We've got that one. That one that's been cleaned. Got that one doesn't need to be cleaned. Well, it has been cleaned. But just doesn't need as much cleaning. We've got those two. We're good. We've got that one. We got that one. We got... Where's that? Oh, that one needs cleaning. Just a reminder to everyone, if you are looking for a recapping guide for an Amiga 1200, it is on my website, recapamac.com.au. It's right down the bottom in the other section. Everything else is in chronological order, but with the Amiga 1200, it is just right down the bottom under other. There are a few more things I need to add to that other section. I need to add the Nintendo 64. I have a recapping guide for that because I've recapped a couple of those. But I just have never got around to adding it. Oh, thank you for that, Jay. Sickboy SB1KG, hello there. First time watching live and it's my favourite computer. There you go. I mean, the old Amiga 1200, why wouldn't it be a favourite? I've only ever used other people's, I don't have my own. But I think they're very nifty. Alright, so I am going to need to start putting new caps on. I think I've cleaned everything. I may suddenly discover that I haven't cleaned everything, but I'm pretty sure I have. Sorry, I'm trying to get some isopropyl alcohol out of my dispenser here. And my dispenser is being a dick. There we go. Right, well, we'll start off putting on the caps I have, because you can't really put on the caps you don't have. That's just not how it works. So, where I'm going to come up short is the 22 microfarad 25 volt. Now, I almost definitely have those in tantalum, but all of the people that I've spoken to about Amiga recapping, they've all said, no, you can't use tantalum, you gotta use electrolytic. And maybe that's the case. But I will just check and see if I have them in tantalum. Tantaliums. Is that my tantalums there? That's my tants. I've got 22 16s. That's no good to me. It's no good to me at all. And what else have we got? Let's grab my tantalums number 2. Oops. 2235s. So there you go. I could use those. I need 5 of them. Oh, they're tiny. These are massive. No, I wouldn't be able to fit these in spot. So there's none of that going to be happening. I am just going to have to order the parts. We'll put on what we have and we'll leave the other ones empty. So 47s. Let's start with those. I've got these guys here. And the 47s are going to live. 47. There's one of them is over here. Right there, the 47s were the ones that really leaked quite significantly. So let's just get some of this gunk off. There we go. That's better. Why is this dispenser giving me so much grief? I think I've got a new one floating around somewhere. I'm going to replace it. Righty. Now, of course, it's so easy to do electrolytic caps because they've got the little little screen printing, the little shape here. It's impossible to get them on backwards. What's that? Just a little bit of mask. Now I'm using flux. I'm going to put the flux down here first, and then I'll put the cap on, and then I'll melt the solder onto it. The flux that I'm using is Steri flux. Anyone out there is looking for a good quality flux, you can't go wrong with Steri. If you're not sure which one to buy, if you're just looking for all-purpose soldering, I'd go with either one of their V4s or their V5s. I like both of them. I particularly, the one I use is Steri ASM TF. TF standing for Tacky Flux. It's definitely my favorite. Doesn't mean you have to use it, but it's definitely my favorite. Very cost effective. I find it a really easy to use flux. It's nice and clear, as you can see. You can see through it. And it does a really good job. It hangs around on the board. It doesn't just disappear the first time you apply a bit of heat to it. So it's fantastic for surface mount soldering, which is my favorite thing. I love surface mount soldering. There we go. Look at those beautiful beads. How nice do they look? Gotta love them. Okay, so that's our first 47 down. It is a 47, isn't it? Yeah, it is a 47. So it's 4725 replacing a 4716, so that's no problem there. And then the other one goes, it's over on the left-hand side here somewhere. There it is. It's right down there near the, whatever this socket is. I don't know. What sort of socket is this? Does anyone know? Does anyone know what sort of socket is sticking out the side of an Amiga? I'm sure there are Amiga experts in the chat that can tell me what this socket is. Sort of like a PCM CIA slot sort of thing. But I imagine it probably predates that. Amtech, yes. Gosh, what an interesting mess the whole Amtech flux is. I'm sure. Oh, it's a PCM CIA. Yes, I got the little wink there from Jay at the House of Moth because he knows the history with the whole Amtech flux thing. I can't really say anything bad about them because I don't want to get in trouble. But let's just say, if you want my advice, go with Steri. If you don't want my advice, that's fine too. Gonna have to whip out the old conical here, Jay. It's time. PCM on my CFC, PIM, yeah. Not the conical. Not the comfy chair. Alrighty. So just getting inside here, as you can see, we're very, very close to this plastic. I don't want to melt it. This bent conical tip here, because it's bent, I can get like the side of it, and I can actually get quite a good amount of heat. I don't really like conical tips because you just can't get good delivery of heat a lot of the time. But because I can lie this on its side, I can get that decent amount of heat coming out and can get quite a good job done. There you go. No one's going to complain about that, are they? Right, that's the 47s. I'm going to get the 100 microfarad 6.3s now. Now, I've got... Oh, how many of those do I need? 4 of them, and I've got 2. Who would have known that I would have ended up running so low on all of these bloody capacitors? Let's have a look here. There was 100, wasn't it? 100 microfarad 6.3, and I was replacing them with a 125. Goodness me. 100 6.3s. There we go. I've got some 100 6.3s. I'll put those on. I've got some 125s here as well. Look at me. Look at me with all this stuff. There we go. Got 4 of them. Everything's fine. Now, I've done a risky thing here. I've taken all 4 out at the same time. Now, the reason that's risky, if anyone's watched my live streams before, sometimes when I get too many capacitors out at the one time, I put them on the desk, and the capacitor fairies come and steal them from the desk and just leave me sitting there. I'm like, I pulled 4 out, but now I've only got 2. Where have the other 2 gone? But I'm going to keep my eye on these to make sure the capacitor fairies don't steal them. 100... 6.3, 100. There we go. There's 2 there, 1 there, and 1 there. Okay, they're all clustered together. So, start off with these 2 here. There's 2 up here, 100 6.3s. Get some more flux under here. I'm going to need to use the conical again. Doink. Doink. Now, one of the reasons why people opt for polymers these days, or sort of polymer hybrids and that, is that they use a powder inside them rather than a liquid, so you're not going to end up with them leaking in the future. Cap near the plastic keyboard connector and the rear connectors, you're not wrong. That cap is an absolute pain in the behind. This is the one thing I don't like about electrolytics. They're just a little bit too big for my tweezers to easily grip. Balls. Balls. I have lots of strange kind of expletives when I'm trying not to swear. Often I just swear when I get to the end of the live streams. I try not to swear right at the beginning, because I think that's bad for the algorithm. But yeah, by the time I get to the end, I'm just like, yeah, stuff it. I mean, aren't children getting banned from YouTube anyway? So I can swear. It's funny though, isn't it, that you still have this situation where some advertisers don't want to advertise on content with swear words in it? And I'm just sort of like, really? In this day and age? Come on. Everybody swears. Everybody swears sometime. Stop singing, Bruce. Stop singing. You'll lose the viewers. Just say crumbs. I like criminy. You like that one? Or gadzooks. I love that one. Gadzooks. from back in the days when people used to wear hats. Workshop and wine streams, yeah, I just start swearing straight off the bat with those ones. The only downside to them is I have to do them at night time, and that's usually then too late for the people in the US, because, you know, what time is it now? It's 2:40. It's too early for me to start drinking now. I can't have wine now. Zounds, I like that one. Fudge Monkey is good. One of the things that I start with F, and then I say fridge magnet. It's not that funny, but I just thought I'd say it anyway. Alright, so that's two 100 6.3s right next to each other there. They're actually not 6.3s, they're like 25s or something. But, and then we've got one there and there. So that's this location here. And the one down below to the right of it. Even the younger kids around here have a habit letting the foul words out. Yeah, I know. God, there was one time, this is a long time ago, this is years ago, I was on a bus going somewhere, I can't remember, heading to work or something like that, and I was listening to these kids in the back, young kids, primary school kids, you know. What do they call that in America? Primary school is, I don't know, it's sort of like age from about, I don't know, I guess 8 to 11 or something like that. What have we got? 6, 7, yeah, 8 to 11 or 12 or something like that. But anyhow, I was listening to these kids swearing, and I just think, my goodness, did I swear like that when I was your age? I mean, I might have, but... How about the internet? It's cool, isn't it? I'm just going full conical now. It's just, I know I'm going to have to keep swapping it out, so I figured I may as well just stay with it. Get in there. Get in there. There's one of the things that I don't like about electrolytics. You can get the cap straight, and the little black plastic thing underneath will be crooked. That bothers me. Looking good. Looking good. So that's our 4 100 microfarads. I think and then we've got some 10 microfarads. So let's grab some of those. Did I put the container back? Oh no, that's it. What was it? I only need 3. Some models have 4, but I only need 3 10 microfarads. 3. I've got 4.7. They're not on this. 4.7s must be on the Amiga 600 or something like that. Because I did do some Amiga 600s as well. Internet. You know, internet. Polymer caps, indeed. Grade school is the term in America. Okay, fair enough. So what we have is we're infants, and that's sort of 5, 6, 7 years old. That's like kindergarten, 1st and 2nd class. And then you have primary school, which is 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. And then you're into high school, and that's year 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is like first heart, junior sort of. And then your seniors are year 11 and year 12. And then you leave school, and you go to university these days. Not like back in my day. Well, that's not true. A lot of people did go to university, but I left. At the time, I was around that age. You could still leave school at the end of year 10 and pursue a career. What? 1,000 microfarad? Seriously? Gosh. What's that for? Never mind. Right, where was I? I was up to 10 microfarads. Now they are here, and there's one up there. So we've got these. What? That. What's that one? That one there's 22. Oh, that's 10. Okay, yeah. Okay, it's all right. It's all right. Everyone can be fine. Just be cool. Be cool. So I need to ask a question to any Americans that are watching at the moment. If someone says to you, "I am about to go get you a glass of lemonade," what are they going to bring you? What do you expect to be given? Because this relates to a discussion that I believe was being had with someone else, and I think it was that they were saying that. Well, certainly it's maybe in some parts, what they would expect from when someone says, I'm going to bring you a glass of lemonade, would be different to what other people would expect. So I just have to ask. Got one up here. So what I ask it, if someone said to you, I'll have a glass of lemonade here, can you please get me a glass of lemonade? What you would expect is Sprite. Fizzy, clear, Sprite, or equivalent. And I'm just curious if that's the same there. Freaking the most disgusting crap ever in a bottle. Yeah. I'm a big fan of lemon squash. I don't know if you guys call it lemon squash, but I like lemon squash. I much prefer lemon squash to lemonade. Lemon squash is basically it's lemony flavoured, and it is not clear. It's sort of more of a yellowy sort of a colour, and it's much more complex in flavour than just a straight lemonade like a Sprite. So, Solo is like is Solo just Australian? I don't know. I have no idea. But Solo is like a lemon squash. Okay, 10.25 all the way over here. That's a 10, 10, 10. Why do they call Sprite lemonade there if it also has lime in it? Does it? Does it have lime in it? I don't know if I can tell that. I'll take your word for it. Sprite's what I get if they don't have solo. Dana, welcome. Have you finished your Friday night routine? Point 0.00001% lemon and lime juice, yes. Alright, now, what am I up to? I've got to do the through holes. No, actually, I might do the two difficult 22s. I've got two, I think. What's that? Oh, that's one of the ones I removed. It's still in good nick. So I'm looking for 22s, aren't I? And I've got looking. Yeah. So the 22 is the only one that I haven't been able to, that I don't have enough of, which is it's disappointing. Because I really would have liked to have finished this, but, you know. So there are 5 required. I only have 2. I'll put them into the most difficult location, and then I'll leave it for the easy ones later on. So we've got one that needs to go Hoya, and we've got 2 that need to go Hoya and Hoya. But these difficult ones are up here, as you can see, just in a world of plastic. You can see why we got little ones, can't you? You can see why the person who told me which ones to buy, because I got these off a guide by someone, as in which caps to buy. You can see why he actually chose these smaller, what do you call them, packages? Because there just ain't much room here. Buy that man a beer. I'm a fan of ginger ale. Yeah, I like ginger beer, particularly the Bundaberg ginger beer that we make here. Love Bundaberg ginger beer. And when I say here, they don't actually make it here where I am in Sydney. I mean here in this country. They actually make it, surprise, surprise, in Bundaberg, in Queensland. Okay, so there's your trick. So whoever was chatting before, it was talking about not looking forward to doing these ones. My tip to you is make sure you buy smaller capacitors than the originals. They're just as good, but with half the calories. Ginger ale over here is non-alcoholic and carbonated. Yes, it is here too. If you get a ginger ale here, you would expect to have something definitely non-alcoholic. Having said that, people do add ginger ale to alcoholic beverages, so mixing it with a bit of spirit of some sort, make yourself an alcoholic beverage. I'd burn the bottom of this cap a little bit. It's just the plastic part that I burn. Doesn't matter. I just don't like it. Okay. Oh, okay. Dana, what you were blamed for? Oh, crap. What were you blamed for? Oh, I think you might have been blamed for maybe the bubbling on the board when I applied hot air to it. Pretty sure I blamed you for that. Yep. Okay. So, we're going to put the through holes in now. So I've got 470 16s. So I've got 2 of those. And then we need 2 of the 1000. So let's just grab those all now. So I'm going to have to do one of those DigiKey orders. I generally use DigiKey because they deliver very quickly, usually within 3 days. And if I spend more than $60, the delivery is free. So, you know. Yes, Sickboy SPB 1kg, you cannot. Well, you can at someone, but it doesn't do the prompt. You've got to type the name in manually. So stupid. Sprite in Australia contains 0 juice of any kind. Yes, I don't think they're even bothering to pretend like it has real juice in it. Yeah, it's one of the things that... Oh, crap. Where the hell's it gone? I may never find that again. I was just holding a cap and I just sort of lost my grip on it. So I'm going to have to go get another one because I am not going to waste freaking who knows how long trying to find it. Well, not now anyway. I will later, but not on stream. Yeah, so when you're using the YouTube app, you know, you press the @ sign, and if you're using it on the web, it normally comes up and prompts you start typing the first couple of letters, and it'll finish off and show you who you're trying to do. It doesn't do that. It's on the app, and it's so stupid. Stupid. Okay, 470. There's one here. The plus is on that side, which means the minus is on that side. Like that. And then the other 470 is here. That's there's 1000, there's 1000, there. Plus on that side. Minus on that side. Yeah. Now I'm going to have to ditch that conical and go and use a proper tip. Where did I leave the tip? Oh, there it is. Nah, the board will be fine. It only just popped up a little tiny bit. I really don't anticipate any problem with that. There we go. There's one cap. Two caps. Oh yes, I haven't asked people to smash that like button yet. I do feel like that kind of smash that like button video has kind of lost it's kind of come off the boil somewhat. I'm probably flogging a dead horse there with that one. I don't know, maybe need to come up with something a little bit different. It was always meant as a joke. But I just feel like that joke's getting a little bit old. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You watch me. Ready? Block your ears. Smash that like button. Now, I do think I'm going to have to go and get my side cutters When I say go, I mean under the desk. They fell down. There is another pair on this desk somewhere, but I can't find them. All right, kicking along here. There we go, got them. I do actually have Dana to thank for that smash that like button, if I remember rightly. He was the one that actually said that term as a joke once. Pretty sure it was him. And made me chuckle, so I borrowed it. All of my best ideas come from other people. Alright, now we've got 1,000 microfarads. How many's that? That's heaps. And that's a 1,000 there as well. Goes to the right. And that's to the left. How long have I been going for? 2.5 hers. Haven't even checked to see what the view numbers are like. 59, that's actually pretty good for me. It's kind of gradually gone up. Does that mean I'm getting more interesting with time? Unlikely. Very unlikely. Right, let's just solder these. Are they the best ideas in the world? Oh dear, oh dear. Do love a bit of satire. Now, if I do have any problems with this, one of the first places I will go will be to this area around here, where we've got quite a lot of corrosion. I would be checking all of the vias, that they are still sort of connected between the top and the bottom. Oh yeah, did I do the other one? No, I didn't do the other one. This is the one that gave us all that grief because it was on that great big copper plane. Even now it's like, it takes so much heat to get it to stick. Drinking homemade vodka from my 12-litre Vevor distiller. Cool. How did you go with the cooling on that? I'm just curious. I mean, the main issue with those distillers I find is the cooling up the top. So there's the little spirally bit there, sitting in a kind of it's a little mini tank. But of course, if you just pour cold water in there, it'll heat up in no time, and then it won't be distilling very well. So that water has got to be kept cool. Now, I mean, one of the things that they say you can do is you connect one end to a hose, and you're just perpetually running water out of it. But that's a huge waste of water. So I guess the other option is you have a great big bucket or something like that with a pump, so that you're pumping the water around, something like that. Put some ice in there. But anyhow, I'm just curious about how you get that cooling to work. Curious. Very curious. Sick boy, YouTube added all the extra crap at the end of my name. Yeah, you know what? It does that. It's doing that to a lot of people, and it's doing it more lately. And maybe it is a setting that just needs to be changed or something. But it's, you know, as someone here who live streams a fair bit, you know, I see all these people that come in, and they normally come under a particular alias, and then all of a sudden they're now coming up with these great big long names with numbers hanging off the end of it. And I don't know why. I didn't do it. It's not my fault. God, this dispenser is going to be the death of me. Why are you being so bad to me today? Are you broked? Just be good to me. Or else. Comes with a pump and hoses, 2 frozen water bottles, and a sink with a single plate induction set to 80 degrees C. Oh. Okay, mine didn't come with any pumps. I must have bought the cheap one. I'm going to sell mine. I don't need it. It doesn't do what I wanted it to do. And I don't really plan to make my own moonshine, so I bought it for something else. I bought it for distilling isopropyl alcohol, so I could clean all of the resin 3D print gunk out of it. Alright, well, let's have a quick look at this. As I mentioned before, I don't actually have the ability to... let me just turn the fume extractor off. I don't have the ability to finish this recapping today because I am actually missing a couple of caps. Missing 3 in total. So there are 2 here, 1, 2 there, and then there's 1 just over here in that spot there. I'm disappointed. I mean, I couldn't really do anything about it in the time frame anyway, even if I'd have realised it like yesterday or the day before. The caps wouldn't have arrived in time for the live stream. So I only decided to live stream this like a couple of days ago. So I will order those, and then I can finish off the recapping, so that's great. But in the meantime, the other thing I want to do is the mod over here. So I'm going to have to look it up because I don't remember it off the top of my head, even though I did do it in a video. And effectively what we do is replace this chip with another chip. We have to remove some resistors from the underside, and we have to put a resistor across from 2 pins on this one. It's actually quite a tricky thing to do. But I'm going to look it up so that I've got my, reference material here. And so I'm going to go here to Amiga, RGB video issue, maybe? Probably composite. And then what comes up, of course, it'll be my bloody video, won't it? Video. Amiga, I should do Amiga 1200 composite composite video issue. Yep, there's my video. That does have the link in it where the reference is though. Hello, my video. We're going to hear my
porn, smoking, doom scrolling. That's how high IQ men self-sabotage. High IQ men don't fail from lack of intelligence.
There we go.
Hi there, my name's Bruce Rain from Breakers Creations.
Okay. Shh. They don't need to hear my voice coming from 2 separate locations. Nobody does. Alright, so here we go. Here's the encoder mod. Because I didn't come up with this, all I did is make a video about it. And I did actually check with the guy first. I said, do you mind if I make a video about this? And he said, no, that's great, please do. So I did, and he actually has a link to it on his page, I think. Was he changed this? No, okay. Preparation. Bill of material. CXA 2075M. Alright. Right, so what do we have to do? We've got to take that off. From the main board of the Amiga 1200, look at the front area, and we got to... You should remove any of the following S&D components in this area. Note that some of the S&D components might already be removed from the factory. So we've got to remove them, and them. Okay, so he's got nice little pictures of it there. And then when it has been soldered to the main board, we've got to snip some pins. We've got to snip some pins from memory. You can't help yourself, Jay, can you? Yeah. Yeah, it is funny, given how big this board is, there are some parts of it that are very cramped, that's for sure. Alright, now. Okay, so those are the 2 pins we need to snipperoonie. So I'm just going to grab what I need. I don't have a whole stack of these chips, but I have a few. Oh, what are these ones? Are these all the same? Did I really get that many of them? I'll just have a look. It's Let's have a look. 2075, yeah, that's the one. Okay, so that's pin 1 there. We need to snippety snip these pins. So we've got, oh, we've got to change the scope view here. We'll do it with a foot pedal. Foot pedal. There we go. So this is the chip here. Oh, there we go. This is the chip here. So we will allow these 3 pins to be. Oh my God! Look at the tip of this thing. What have I been using this for? We will allow these 3 to just go on their merry way, but these 2 have got to come off. So, and there we go. Banished. They're banished. Those 2. No more. So there's that. Excuse me, but I think you have to join them together, don't you? Or something like that? I don't know. I know the pins need to be joined together. Yeah. Alright. Okay, so this can be soldered on here. There. You'll see that this one is called CXA1145M, and this is CXA2075M. Now, effectively what we're doing by replacing this, we are removing the need for these guys over here. These little filtery, doohickey, la-la things. So we're saying, no, not needed, because we're going to do everything here. That's all I can tell you. I'm no expert. What do I know? So, now we're going to take this off. Oh, apparently there was a power outage nearby here. And we didn't get any. I'm glad, because otherwise this would have been a very boring live stream. Just looking to see if I can find any of my heat shields. I know I've been using some lately, so they'll be around somewhere. Could maybe use this PCB to shield. There we go. That'll do. Gone. That's it. Gone. It's gone. Look out. It's gone. It was there. Now it's gone. Craving a pan-galactic gargle blaster. There you go. They're not good for you, those. It's like having your what was it with the terminology? It was like having your brain smashed out by 2 bricks wrapped in a lime or something like that. I don't remember the exact words, but it was very funny. Very, very funny. Now this particular mod that I'm doing, it is not for the faint of heart. I can tell you that for sure. That's for true. That's right, your brain's smashed in by a lemon wrapped around a gold brick. Love that. Love it. Good old Douglas Adams, eh? Need more flux. 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 Flux is what does the trick. I've got solder on the pin now, so I'm committed to it. Okay. Here we go. There's that one there. Now we can just solder the rest of these pins. This one here's a bit wonky, isn't it? Look at it. Way too much wonk. I can hear some sulfur-crested cockatoos. Oh, actually, it might be corellas flying around outside. Right, then I need to bridge those two. I'll just double check that. La 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 la. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I've got to get something small. Will this work? That's not small, that's gigantic. What have I got? What have I got? I must have some small... What? Actually, that's smallish. Is that small? I mean, it looks small, and then you put it on the microscope and you go, no, it's gigantic. I might just use some of this wire. This will work quite well, I think. There we go. Just need to get all the enamel coating off this, or whatever the coating is, and then I can just solder it down onto there. Need more bloody solder. Shazbat. Need tweezers. My fingers are not accurate enough for this. There we go. Ta-da! Now I just need to cut the end off. If I can find my sharp thing, there it is. Right. There we go. Looking good. It's good. It's very good. I am actually quite hungry. I haven't had lunch today. Chaotic, isn't it? Had a big breakfast, but, you know, still hungry. Now, this is the tricky bit. I've got to get a resistor onto this, like, a really, really stupid location. So I'll just need to bring this up, and I've got to put it between 1, 2, 3, 5th and 1st. So the resistor has to go from 1, 2, 3, 4, from there to there. So isn't that fun? A 2.61k ohm. It's a weird size, but it's okay. I bought some. I have these on standby. Another YouTuber whose name I will not mention, did actually discover this particular problem. So I reached out to that person and said, I actually have all the bits and pieces needed for this, so please do let me know if you would like me to send them to you. Because I have done this before. I had someone contact me and say, I want to do this, but I'm having trouble finding these parts. So I just sent them the resistor and I sent them the chip. Yeah, I reached out to this person, but when I spoke to this person, they had already got hold of the parts they needed. I don't know if they were then going to actually do the work, but yeah, they had what they needed, so that was all that mattered. So I do like to try and help out other YouTubers. Okay. As you can see, this is a rather gigantic thing here, so going to make sure I cut this, because you can always cut a bit more off, but you can't add any on. So, those famous sayings like that you hear from people that are trying to offer you pearls of wisdom. Like things like, oh, you can always add more salt, but you can't take it out. Yeah. Thanks for that. Okay, now, have I got enough? Let's see. Going from number 5 to number 1. Number 5 to number 1. I feel like it needs to bend in even more. After doing this, I am going to watch my own video on doing this again, just to make sure I haven't skipped anything. Because, it is me. Get a nice big modicum of solder on here. Anyone got any good chicken wing recipes they can share with me? I generally like, I prefer my chicken wings sort of like crispy rather than soggy. Not going on, is it? Oh God, look at me! Look at what I'm doing to this poor resistor. Should I grab another one? I'm inclined to grab another one. Just look at the mistake. Look at the mess I'm making. I'll tell you what, if I'm getting this wrong, like for instance, as if this guide has changed or something, I'll be livid. I think it makes sense for me to maybe have a little bit of extra length here, even if it means the resistor is sitting a little bit proud. I think that will actually be easier. You'd think I'd never done this before, wouldn't you? But I promise you I have. It was just a long time ago. Fiddly, isn't it? I think that will work better. Yeah, I think that'll work better. Alright, let's try again. Ah, dear. Ah, bloody hell. Bloody Nora. Are you on? Are you on? Yep, he's on. I think I've done it. I think I've done it. We're going to have a look at it. We're going to have a look at it from an angle. But I think I've done it. I feel good about it. It's pretty moist here at the moment. I've got the air conditioner going now just to dry the air out a bit. Yeah, that's definitely connected, and it's not ridged or anything like that. And what about this side? Oh, that's even better. Look at it. Wonderful. We've done that. Right, now we've got to remove a bunch of resistors from here. I've got a little thingy here telling me which ones I need to remove. I need to remove... And I'm not actually going to remove them. I'm not going to make this a permanent thing, because I'm just loath to do that. I am actually going to just move these into a position slightly different, where they don't actually function anymore. And if someone decides they want to reverse this change, they can. There you go. Those caps aren't going anywhere, or resistor and capacitor. And then we've got this little guy. Which one? R22222222. Yep, he needs to go as well. These have actually got component adhesive on them. Ah, crap. So one thing you can do there is, if you want to, you can send that little guy to the other side of the room. Flip it, flip it, flip it, flip, 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 flip it, flip it. There we go. There we go. That'll do me. I'm not looking for anything spectacular. I just want it to stay there. I need to tidy up over here a bit. Look at this crap. This capacitor here is not positioned terribly well. And then I've got these three up here. That one, and that one. So that's 221, R221, C221, and whatever the one next to it is that I can't see a label for. These three. So... There we go. I don't want those ones too close to those pins. I don't want to risk having a little bridgeage. So that's why I position them as I have. Ah, he moved. He's okay though. He's moved too. Back you come. That's the surface tension of the solder that shifted that guy to move. We're working with physics. Right. Okay, so what we've done here is we've made it so none of these are actually making a connection, but we've made it so they're still on the board. They haven't gone anywhere. They can still live out happy lives just without any current running through them. So there we go. So that's the mod. That's the mod done. Done mod. And we won't be able to test it out because, regrettably, I haven't been able to finish recapping because I'm missing 3 capacitors. Well, I don't have 3 capacitors, which I will order. I should get them during the week, and then I can finish it off, and then I can test it out. I have no reason to think this won't work. The areas of concern are the corrosion that we found around here. I think we'll be okay. They didn't look to me like the sort of problems where this isn't going to work. I've never actually had an A1200 after recapping that didn't work, to be honest. So if it doesn't, I'll be very, very unhappy. But if there are problems, I'll just be going for some of these regions around here where there was this corrosion. I'll just be checking to make sure I've got continuity between the bottom and the top of the board. But other than that, I think we're fine. This board will get a clean, but there's no point in cleaning it until I've got the last 2 caps on. I'll be dropping it in the ultrasonic cleaner. The ultrasonic cleaner will get rid of all of that flux, and of course it'll get rid of any additional corrosion as well. The downside to it is the cleaning process does tend to react with aluminum, depending on where you are. And so you can sometimes get little discolorations happening on the top of these caps. It's purely aesthetic. It doesn't actually affect their functionality or anything like that. But you know, that can sometimes happen if you pop a board like this into an ultrasonic cleaner after you put the caps on. I will usually clean a board and then I'll put the through-hole caps on so that they don't get that discoloration. But I wanted to get as much done with this as I could. So that is that, as they say. Just got to wait for those caps to come in. These aren't ones that I can just get at the local place. The local place generally does through holes. They don't do surface mount. And more importantly, I want to get some good quality ones. I want to get some good polymer caps. So I will order these from DigiKey and wait to get them delivered. So, right, I'm going to check on the chat. Honey soy garlic marinade, or coated in flour with paprika, sage, and onion powder and black pepper. Yeah, I mean, I've got like this. I could always get the old bay seasoning out, couldn't I? I've got this mix, sort of like a Kentucky Fried Chicken mix. You know, I can always stick that on and then fry them for a bit, or I can. Yeah, I don't know. Sort of oven cook them, you know. And there's honey soy. I do like honey soy, but I find it a bit sort of sticky. Heading to the couch. Goodbye. Farewell, Jay. Thank you for joining. I noticed Jim Henson's Labyrinth had gotten shown in theatres last weekend to mark the 40th anniversary of the movie. Interesting. It's interesting. I was never a huge fan of the Labyrinth. Now, don't get me wrong. I watched it, and I particularly loved the little behind-the-scenes movie. Behind the scenes that was available. There we go. There was a behind-the-scenes doco, which is actually on the Blu-ray if you buy it. And I really enjoyed that. I love watching behind-the-scenes videos, good quality behind-the-scenes videos. But I was always a much bigger fan of Dark Crystal when it came to the Jim Henson sort of films. I felt like the entire puppet creature world worked better than the sort of creature world with humans chucked in. But, you know, I mean, Behind the Labyrinth, that's a great doco. It's very, very watchable. But I don't dislike the Labyrinth, but it never had the same impact on me as a youth as the Dark Crystal did. The Dark Crystal had a very significant impact on me. But yeah, that's not to say that I don't like it. I love all the little puppets and stuff like that, and you know, it's a pretty fun story, I suppose. But yeah, it's amazing. It's 40 years. Is it really 40 years? Crap, I must have been young. But and I'll tell you what, the wonderful thing I like about both Dark Crystal and Labyrinth is the fact that you can get them now in, 1080p, or even they probably can get them in 4K. I'm not sure, but that they went in and they remastered them, and they, because when I grew up, all I had of those was VHS, so I was watching those movies on videotape on a little screen. When you watch them now on sort of on a good quality TV and sort of as a Blu-ray or a 1080p video. It just feels wonderful. It feels really cinematic, and I just love watching it because there's so much big stuff going on in that. It's saying there's a guilty pleasure movie that I watched when I was growing up, which is it's bad. It's bad, but I still love it. There's a lot I like about it, and that's a film called Krull. Don't know if there's anyone here old enough to have seen Krull, but I really enjoyed that movie, and I think it was the first movie that Liam Neeson was ever in. So there you go. There's a big piece of history. And yeah, I really enjoyed that movie, and that's another one that when it became available on sort of like Blu-ray, and bought it and just like, wow, just amazed at how good it looks. Alrighty, well, I think I'm going to wrap things up now. And once I sort of stop and point the camera at my face instead of what I'm doing, and just set your expectations fairly low with Krull, okay? It's of an era. But it's that sort of adventure. I don't know, Clash of the Titans type, quest sort of movie. Yeah, time for me to actually get up off my bum and start doing a few things. Going to do a little bit of tidying and start doing some prep for dinner and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And, anyhow, watch Krull. Watch Krull. I mean, set your expectations low, but watch it. It's got some really cool stuff in it. There's some amazing effects in it for the time. I mean, you can look at them today and laugh at them, but back then, I mean, there's a scene with a stop-motion animation spider, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, all right, okay. So, Amiga 1200. For all the Amiga fans out there, I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. If not, I apologise. I'll try and do better. We nearly got to fully recap it. It's my fault. I should have checked to see what the cap supply was like. I did recap quite a lot of these in the day, and I just had not checked to see that my supply had got so low. And so I wasn't able to actually replace 3 of the capacitors on this. They're 22 microfarad. So I will order those so that I can then put it together, and then hopefully I'll be able to plug it all in and fire it up, and we'll see how it works. The cool thing about this Amiga 1200 is it's been upgraded. It's got an 80 megabyte hard drive inside, and it also has a 680/30 50 megahertz accelerator. So it's a really, really whiz-bang one, this one. I cannot wait to actually get it up and running and test it out. See that it works, and maybe plug my GoTech into it and load up a couple of games and stuff. And then I can give it back to the owner. Yeah, so that's all gone. It's all gone pretty well. Plenty of corrosion. If you've got an Amiga 1200 and you haven't recapped it, I hope this has worked as an advertisement for you to get it done, because it does need doing. Even this one here, the board looked really good once we got looking at it under a microscope. Really bad corrosion there, stuff leaking out of the caps. It's not good at all. Okay, so everyone, have yourself a wonderful whatever it is, Friday night. Have a good Saturday, have a good weekend ahead of you. For my Aussie friends, enjoy the rest of the weekend. It's 20 to 4 here now, so it's definitely getting ready for relaxation time for the evening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for keeping the chat lively, keeping it all going throughout. I do appreciate you very much. Please stick around and have a look at the little outro. You can see all the names of my wonderful Patreon friends that help out and support the channel. So thank you all for watching. Thanks for your chat. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye-bye.